What's up, Zeta Creators? Today, welcome back, Wolfpack, and we're at something called Howling Farm in New Jersey, and we're gonna go meet some wolves. So let's go. All right. I'm scared. I got Samson and I got Katori. Look. Alright, let's go meet some wolves. I'm scared. Is anybody else? Oh, amazing. Look at you. Hi. Man, that is awesome. Okay.
It's an angel.
There is. It's Angel. It's Angel on the couch. They're very friendly.
No, I mean those holes underneath the tree.
They're friendly. They like to be pet, just like dogs.
Just head on, man. Just head right on. I know. There we go.
Oh, look, there's some little guy. I forget his name.
We can kind of get a nice seat on these benches over here in case the sun comes up. We're in the shade nice. Just watch out for the hole.
It's like dogs. Oh, you're gorgeous.
Kind of range yourself. Hey, Jake. How you doing, boy? Hey, Jake. See what they're doing while they're digging these holes here? They like to dig a nice little trench and kind of lay down where it's nice and cool sometime. You just kind of chilled out. Well, welcome to Howling Woods Farm, folks. What we are and what we do is we are what you call a breed-specific wolf dog sanctuary and facility. And we provide sanctuary for these beautiful animals, and hopefully we'd like to rehome a bunch of the adoptable ones. That's kind of our mission, is to give them a nice place to live. And some of the special ones, they call them our ambassador pack that you'll be meeting today. They're just very, very well attuned to meeting folks and just having lots and lots of people walk through their homes every day and meeting you got nice folks, and it just works out really nice. Like I said, anybody has any questions throughout the tour, just yell them out. That's pretty much it. Now, I mentioned the word wolf dogs, but please try not to be disappointed because I'm not meeting real wolves or something. They're trying to pull the wool over my eyes or something like that. Nowhere in the nation can you be in the same enclosure or touch full blood or full content wolf. Just kind of the way it works out. A couple of % of domestic dog blood or DNA, what we call content. I'll be using that word throughout the tour. You could be in the enclosure with them, pet them all day. It's perfectly fine. It's kind of silly because there's domestic dogs that I wouldn't want to be 100 yards near, as we all know we've been acquainted with maybe in the past, but that's just kind of how it works out. You can see full-blood wolves behind, behind gates or glass, something like that in zoos or game farms, but you can't kind of be in with them. So who's walking around here? This great big beautiful guy right here is Naiche, and he's what we call a very, very high content wolf dog. He's about 95% gray wolf. He's about as close to a full-blood wolf you're going to meet today. And how we figure that out is we use the embark test. You can send away for it online. You can do it with your dog at home if you're curious about how much of a certain breed is in your particular little pooch at home. Swab his cheeks, send it off, and about a month or so, they'll send back a very, very accurate DNA count of what particular breed is in the animal right there. And that's how we figure he's a very, very high content wolf dog. Beautiful little creature over there is Shantae. He's just kind of chilling out. Maybe we get him to come up around us today. We figure he's about 70% or so gray wolf. The rest is like shepherd, husky, malamute. That's what we usually breed them with, is something that looks kind of closer to a wolf. It just kind of works out that way. And why we're here is basically we have these beautiful animals that are, in the wild you don't really get a whole lot of instances where wolves breed with domestic dogs. Doesn't really happen a whole lot. If a domestic dog got away from their owner or something like that into a pack of wolves, the wolves would pretty much dispatch the domestic dog or drive them off. They're not really going to mate, anything like that. Mostly they're a product of the fur trade. A regrettable kind of business back in the last century or two ago. Wolf hair is very, very nice. It's very, very tough and durable, very, very beautiful stuff, but The thing was, it took an awful lot of men going up to the far north, usually in the northern regions, Alaska, maybe Michigan, something like that, and trapping and shooting very few wolves and bringing them back. So the need kind of arose for maybe an easier way to get wolf hair. So you can imagine the problems with having a couple of hundred apex predators in a big pen. I wouldn't want to be the guy feeding them during the day, anything like that. So some wise apple comes up with the idea of breeding them with domestic dogs. You get more or less the same hair. Hopefully they're going to be a little bit easier to handle by the people that have to handle them. And through that, we got wolf dogs. And maybe a couple of those fellas that were running these places just kind of maybe took one or two home, said, gee, that's a beautiful animal right here. He'd make a nice hunting dog or watchdog or something like that, and kind of brought them home, and one thing led to another, and you have people start owning them. The thing is that right now today, like, you got the movie Alpha just came out. Anybody see that? Or
Not yet.
Not yet.
very good movie. See it. I think it's mostly accurate. I could see that happening all over the world about 20,000 years ago. People started befriending wolves. They kind of saw, you know, maybe there's a little relationship here. They're not driving us off. Maybe we help them out. You know, it kind of, I think it was pretty accurate. But the thing is, with something like that, or Twilight, or Game of Thrones especially, people start watching this and they say, you know, gee, I wonder, I got a nice big piece of property. I've had a big northern breed dog, husky, malamute, something like that. Boy, wolves are really beautiful. I wonder if I could have one. Look up online, ask around. You find out that unless you have a lot of licenses and zoo permits and things, you really can't, or really you wouldn't really want a full-blood wolf. But the word wolf dog is going to come up. Gee, what's that? You know, what's that about? You're going to see a big, beautiful animal like pretty Naiche here, whose name, by the way, means mischief maker. Get into that a little bit later. See a big, beautiful animal like him, and they're going to see something that looks like a wolf, like very picture of every wolf you've ever seen in a biography, a movie, whatever. And what the breeders are going to tell you is, oh, they're going to be wonderful with your family. They're going to be great watchdogs. We've all heard how loyal wolves are to the pack. They're going to treat your family just like that. Boy, they're going to protect you. Your wife or daughter's going to walk him down the street, and she's going to be perfectly safe, and you know, he's going to protect her with his life and all this, and he's going to be a great watchdog. You have him in your factory at night or your store, something like that. Oh, he's going to protect you and all this and this. The fact is, they don't really make really great pets. They got that little bit of, I'm doing air quotes here, wild in them. They're not really hardwired like a German Shepherd or something like that through 1,000 generations maybe of doing. They're going to take the one pup that's the best protector of your family and stuff, and they're going to breed them. They're not going to take the little wild ones that are biting and barking and stuff. They're going to kind of leave them go. They're not really hardwired to protect you, the family. They're kind of protecting what's theirs. Their immediate thing, their food, their toy, whatever happens to be in their little possession at the time. They're kind of thinking for themselves. And that doesn't make them bad dogs. It just makes them really, really good wolves. That's just kind of the way they're wired. There's a good chance that somebody's walking them down the street, somebody gets funny with you in this, you know, in the street or whatever, starts making an assaultive move, there's a good chance that he would run behind you and let you make the first move. Because he's figuring if you're boss enough to lead him around on a leash and provide him with food every day, they're courageous creatures. They'll fight to the end to protect you, but they're going to let you make the first move. He's like the private, you're the sergeant. He's going to just watch for you and see what you're going to do. You're going to make the decision, and he might back you up, but it's not really like you see like police dog shepherds. He'll just take the initiative. They're not really, they're acting for themselves. They're kind of in their little pack structure. We'll get more into that later. And all that. That's kind of how they operate. And before we had the embark test, we had a system called phenotyping. And what that was a whole big checklist of all kinds of different physical characteristics, behavioral things that like shelters, police departments, whatnot would use to see if maybe kind of figure out if there's wolf content in the particular animal. Like you found this pretty guy walking down the street. A shelter comes by, the proverbial dog catcher picks him up. They put him in a shelter. Very few places in the nation, Jersey is one of them, one of the very few, that you can actually own wolf dog or anything with any wolf dog content without lots and lots of permits and things. So let's say this is in New York. We'll meet one of the animals kind of a little bit distantly later on, the little Brooklyn wolf, the Winona. She's walking the streets of New York. Somebody illegally had a wolf dog, got out or was released or something. She's walking around the street. She was captured by the authorities, and it's not like if they had a German Shepherd or a Poodle or a Jack Russell or something. ASP picks them up, puts them in the van, brings them down to the shelter. Nobody claims them after a while. Somebody comes by, oh, what a pretty little dog. They could just adopt them out. They think there's a little wolf in them. They can't let you have them legally. So what do? They're not going to burn up a whole lot of resources and space on that one animal. Generally speaking, sadly and unfortunately, they get euthanized over a very short time. They can't do anything with them, and they got all these dogs coming in all day. You know, what are they going to do? Help that 100, help this one? It just kind of works out that way. It's very sad. It's like I was saying, pretty naive. Hey boy, maybe, no. Works for cheese and hot dogs. In case you're wondering. Hey boy, he's just kind of chilling out today. But you can see some physical characteristics on him, like might differentiate him from your average dog. You see, he has kind of smallish ears, very rounded, very thickly furred. You see, you might as well call him a darn wolf. He's like this. We call him like 3 hairs short of a full-blood wolf. They're really built against the cold. They have a double coat, like huskies and malamutes, some shepherds, that in the warmer weather, they kind of went through it already, where they do what they call blowing their coat. It's not like shedding, it's like they have this like kind of a woolly, kind of a downy underlayer, and over that they have guard hairs, very kind of spiky, little punk rock looking kind of hairs sticking up. And what that does is during sleet and snow, it'll kind of build up on top of that. It'll give a good shake, and just the sleet and snow will just come right off them without even melting. They're very well insulated. That again is why they were in the fur trade years ago. The Air Force still uses them to line their jackets with. It's really tough, durable, really well insulating fur. And once they blow their coat, around the early part, maybe about a month or two ago, and a couple months ago, when it started getting really warm, you'd be ankle deep in the stuff practically. They're just tufts and tufts of fur laying all over the place. And birds know this, so they'll just come swooping down, pick that up, and it's impossible to see here, but if you see all the birds' nests, they'll probably be all lined with it. Nice soft stuff to line their nest with. It's kind of like that little pink fiberglass from nature, kind of line their little homes with. Anybody have any questions at this point? Because I've been yapping away for a little bit. No? We're going to try to get a nice howl going later on. That's nice. That's kind of a nice thing. So Naiche here, pretty guy. He would be about the average size for a good sized wolf in the wild. They get maybe 95 pounds, 90 to 100, something like that. They're not massive creatures. They're pretty lean and athletic. They tend to run around a lot. It's a little bit, see here, maybe Shantae will join us. I don't know. He's just kind of chilled out over there. Maybe we'll get lucky and kind of join us. But you can see some characteristics that look very wolfy on this pretty guy right here. He's got pretty big paws for an animal this size. Kind of larger, maybe a little bit larger than the average, like shepherd, something like that, or maybe husky, especially huskies. They tend to have those small kind of pointy claws. They're very pretty. But you can see his tail, got a black tip on it, and it's a little bit hard to see, but about a third of the way down his tush there, he's got a little black spot. It marks a scent gland, not so much used nowadays, but many years ago. It's kind of used to mark different things with their anal glands as well, like all dogs. And I kind of wish you'd try to get them up here a little bit. They have very long legs comparatively to a lot of dogs, because they're chase predators. What they do is, they chase their prey down. They go up to 40 miles an hour for the longest time, chasing their prey like deer, antelope, bison, moose in the great far north. And you don't really need a whole pack of wolves to bring down a moose. Moose can be like 800, 900 pounds, 1,200 pounds. Massive animals. You get one experienced wolf can kind of bring one down. They don't really need the whole pack to join in, but it just makes it a little bit easier and a little bit less chance of getting injured, because you got to realize in the wild there's no veterinarians to help them out, and if you get one good injury, that's pretty much it. Broken leg or good shot to the head, they're gonna be out. They're gonna be down for the count. They're not gonna really get back from that. And you can see his beautiful yellow eyes. You always see in many times in movies, TV ads, you'll see, like, especially the Blue Mountain dog food commercials. We mention that a lot. They have a picture of the supposed wolf with the blazing blue eyes. They don't really have blue eyes in the wild, hardly ever. When a full-blood wolf is first born, for about a month or two, they might have blue eyes, and it kind of naturally fades to this pretty amber or gold eyes you see right there. And you're never going to see a snow nose on a very high content wolf dog or a full-blood wolf, like you see some huskies, malamutes. They have that little pink or white in the nose, or that kind of pink spotting in the nose. Always have nice black noses and black nails. You can see he has those black claws. A lot of domestic dogs have clear nails. You're never going to see that in a wolf in the wild. They have those pretty black nails like he has. He has a pretty, it's a little hard to see there, but he has very thick fur around it, much thicker fur around his neck and his shoulders. They call that a cape, because they're smashing through like sawgrass and brush at very, very high speed, and you can imagine running without a shirt through, you know, low brush or something. You're going to get pretty darn scratched up. It's just kind of like wearing a little leather jacket or denim jacket. It kind of protects them. Plus, when they're enforcing the pack structure or playing or whatever, they kind of they tend to be at each other's necks a lot, kind of biting and scratching a little bit. It just protects them. It's a lot thicker hair, very, very thick, heavier than the rest of their coat. Maybe we can get these guys up and take a picture of them, which would be nice. We try to coax them up on the platforms here. It's a little bit, we can't really make them do anything. They're not like circus animals. We just kind of, you know, we crack the whip or something silly like that.
Just like
He's got a beautifully colored coat. He really, really does. But you can see from here, he's a little bit of differences. You can see now that he's looking at us, pretty naive here. He's got very small ears. Wolves tend to have very small bear-like ears. They don't have those great big sticky up ears like a shepherd, something like that, like he has over there. He's got beautiful markings around his face too, doesn't he? He's really, really nice. Now, his name, Shantae, in a Native American tongue means heart. Kind of stole our hearts when he first got here, a few months old. And he's a good story of why we're here. Actually, he was found in Ohio, tied to a darn lamppost. Somebody had, I don't think their wolf dogs are legal in Ohio. Here he comes. Like I said, he's about 70% gray wolf. The rest husky shepherd. There he goes. Hey, Shantae. How you doing, boy? You can see he's got pretty big paws. They're not really big like our friend. We have a friend Orion. He's not into the cheese today. You can see he's got those. See the way his tail is, kind of curls down, kind of like a husky, kind of sticks out.
Oh, now you're gonna come up too.
This guy here, feel free to pet him. He's got a beautiful fur.
Oh, stretch.
That's Naiche right there. And he's got a very wolf-like tail. It kind of hangs straight down. Most of the time, even when he's happy and he's wagging, it's kind of, most of the time it's straight down. See, his kind of sticks out a little bit, kind of like a husky, shepherd, malamute, something like that. Hey, boy. He loves it. Yeah, right there.
The butt scratch.
You get it right there. He's going to get that. You watch the right leg is going to start going like this, and you're going to be his friend forever. I call him, well, in this case, the right leg. Look at that expression on his face. It's like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? He's in.
He's like, why'd you stop?
Yeah, that's it. And sometimes they really, really like what they do is they'll scent roll you. They'll just rub his chin on you like crazy. He's kind of marking you as you're my person.
Scratch, so he starts walking down.
Keep going, go.
They'll get their chin on you, which is really something. They really go at it. It's like a furry cinder block against your neck. Look at that. Like dogs all over the world.
You are exactly like Michael.
Yep.
adorable.
Now, have you ever seen any of these in a breed where they show more of the husky trait than they show the wolf trait?
By husky traits, you mean they're kind of aloof and kind of do what they want, sort of? That's
Stubbornness.
Well, more along the lines of they develop more of the size of a husky or the color of the eyes, where they don't show as much of the wolf.
I haven't seen a whole lot of blue or white-eyed wolf dogs. Now, I haven't been that experienced. I've been around maybe 30, and that's something. George, that sound anything to you? I haven't seen any blue or white-eyed wolf dogs at
Anything
all.
over mid-content, they can't have blue eyes. It's not physically
If
possible.
it's like 10%,
Okay.
It's not going to be that vivid.
It's kind of a there's dominant traits and like recessive traits, and that kind of white eyes looks really great in video and stuff, but it's kind of a recessive trait. The yellow eyes, that goes way, way back. I haven't seen it. It might well happen. But when you see that in ads, 9 times out of 10, that's just dodged in with CGI. You know, people think that that's what people want to see. Oh, these are wolf eyes. Halloween's coming up. You're going to get costumes and stuff, you know, with the contacts. What are you going to see with wolf eyes? I want to be a werewolf. You're not going to get those nice yellow ones. You're going to get these blazing white husky eyes.
Right.
The gentleman was asking those husky traits is they all kind of tend to be like that. I have a couple friends who have huskies. They're kind of like cats in a way. They're kind of in their own little private Idaho. They're just being happy little huskies. Got a great big place to be. They're kind of running around, do what they want. But as far as being obedient, you know, snap to them, like sit, roll over, play dead, this kind of thing, buy a shepherd. Trust me, buy a darn German shepherd. Huskies, they're kind of sweet. They're just doing their thing, but you have to kind of be in love with them and just like what they do and kind of go along with them a little bit. Hey, how you doing? And he's from Jersey originally. No cheese today. But you see, he's got pretty darn big paws. He's got those pretty black nails, which yeah, we'll get a howl going later too. This is a very rewarding experience. Now, he's from Jersey originally, where it's perfectly legal to have wolf dogs, but from the story I hear, it was in a small apartment, like a condo, something like that. And he's he's like this much short of a pure-blood wolf. He wants to be running around out there, and they're very intelligent. And they want to be doing things, solving problems, and how do I catch that squirrel that's up in the tree, and are the caribou going to come through migrating this year? You know, the wheels are going. They're always thinking of things. You put them in a small enclosure, it's like taking a really smart guy and putting him in jail. He's going to start thinking of things like maybe trying to get out of jail, which is maybe one of the things they think of. With those big claws and paws, he can dig through a sheetrock wall or a wood floor and nothing flat. Really. These fences you see around you, those fences, the cattle panel we call it, that goes down about 3 feet, about 3 feet out. And we have to check that every morning, because a lot of times that'll be almost on the way through. We got to fill it in.
Really?
They do love them some digging. It just gives them something to do. Or if they see that, you know, if you get a couch at home that makes a little squeak when you sit on it, he's going to be sure there's rats in it. That couch is gone, which huskies and stuff will do too. Isn't he beautiful? You see, they got those lean, long legs. And they have very narrow chests. Lucky will get them up on the platform here, and you can see they have a very narrow chest. They're kind of like built like racing boats or racing motorcycles. They're very lean. Their legs are very close together. If you saw him like he was laying on his side, but if you wouldn't see him like laying down like dogs do. They're laying on their stomach with their paws out. That would be kind of hard for him to do. He's going to kind of lay on his side or something like that. For him just to lay there like that, it's very uncomfortable. He's built like a real wolf. So what we're going to try to do is get him up here on the platform. Shante, maybe not. Maybe not. Hey, maybe take a picture of these nice folks. Maybe, you don't know. Boy. And I was saying, they had him in his original owners had him in a small apartment, and he just probably he was acting up a little bit. So what they did is they got him in a kennel, which is even a smaller enclosure. And to make it worse, they had a couple of young folks, a couple of teenage, preteen kids who were kind of beating on the kennel, trying to
you're so pretty.
just trying to get them to do things or just being jerks.
He's like, this is where I got the best scratch.
And that just wasn't working at all. So what they did is they got one of those old school, dominant who was just trying to be the alpha, and we'll get into that whole thing later, kind of dominate him and stuff like that. And he was just not happy at all.
There it is.
So by one trick and another, we heard about him, and they surrendered him to us, and he's been a pretty happy ambassador ever since. Well, we call him mischief makers. You kind of had to watch out for him. Look at that leg on it. Funny. Fanning everybody. Oh yeah, he loves that. Really, really does. Anybody have any questions at this point? We're going to try to get these pretty guys up here. He's giving a big stretch there.
Hello.
We're going to try to get him to get up on the platform here and get a nice picture. We'll cooperate. Hey guys. Hey guys, it's time. What do you think?
It's scary. Dad, he just stared at me like this.
With
his ears up.
Yeah.
I get treats.
He's more enjoying the rubs right now.
They're just enjoying the rubs.
Oh.
His head out.
If you get them to turn around, maybe we can have one of the volunteers take like pictures maybe alongside you or something like that. But they're kind of doing what they want. We're not going to order them around or anything like that. Big old pretty guy, isn't he?
Well, that was kind of scary.
Like it's
Out of nowhere. He went,
in the wild, a full-blood wolf will be very lucky to get for 4 or 5 years.
look at him.
Very, very tough life. It really, really is. Starvation is the first thing that takes them down because they burn up a lot of energy.
There he
They get a
is.
little bit of food. You can imagine.
Hi,
It's like
sweetie.
you're running
Nope.
a marathon.
He's like, you guys can hit me a little
With
bit.
3 of your friends to help chase it down. You burn
Just
up a lot of
kidding.
energy. You're not taking it in. That second to that is hunting. Unfortunately for us, many diseases, all the things that your dog in the home is inoculated against, they don't get that in the wild. At least a little bit of an injury. He gets a broken leg or an infected toe or something, nobody's giving him antibiotics. That's just going to take him down. Usually, a lot of them die, about 40% die in their first year. They really don't, they have, they have a pretty tough life. In captivity, these guys will go maybe 14, 15 years. We take very good care of them, and you know, we give them the best vet care, and they could go like any average domestic dog. Look at that, he's getting a big old scratch to say. Isn't that coat beautiful though? It does make beautiful coat, you know, coats for the ladies, but it's unfortunate. It really, really is that anybody would use such a thing. Look at that. He's just being friendly today. See, he got those thickly furred ears. A little bit less thickly furred now because it's coat blowing season. But watch it. Watch. There we go. Night, come on. Come on.
Hey, licking.
Come on. Do you have a dog at home?
Yes.
Night, come on. Come on. Come on.
Uh-oh.
Night, come on, buddy.
Aw.
Come on.
Yeah, we got
Actually kind
You have a dog at home?
we got
We got
two
two
huskies.
huskies.
There you go.
Gonna get you.
Night,
You know what I mean? Like if he comes up and sniffs you, you just
That's why
kinda,
he did that. He peed on it.
What?
Yep.
Probably
He's
He's like, no, you're here to see me.
Just keep going, guys. Yeah, just make sure you're close together.
Okay.
Aww.
That's amazing.
I love their trot.
It's amazing. I still can't believe it. We were just curious. They weren't trying to hurt you or anything.
Aw. It's like, this is the way you go. You go over here.
No. They were like leading us the way. Like, here, this way.
Yeah, we'll kind of bunch up and kind of hustle on through, and then we can kind of spread out.
Keep going.
Just go closer, guys.
Like they said, you gotta kind of group up.
If you want to go cover one streets, I'll take everyone through.
You can do that, or if I treat them. Come on, boys. Come on.
Whoa!
Hey, boys. Come on. Here we go.
One set. Okay, go through.
He was just curious.
Hey, Shante.
Stay close.
Here.
Next wolf pack.
Hustle on through.
Whoa.
There we go. But back here, we have some of our adoptable animals. Really nice their own way, but we want to rehome them to some other folks that just really bond with that one special person. Take them home as their forever, you know, their little forever friend. They're not exactly as well tuned to having lots and lots of people come through their homes every day, you know, so we kind of leave them on their own until they get adopted out. And with that, we can go into our next enclosure right here. We just hustle on through here, we can spread out inside the race.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
But this is mainly from a couple hundred people a weekend.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to ask, because I just saw it.
Hey, just kind of keep by me, please. What's up?
Yeah, look at those pretty eyes, huh?
And folks, this is beautiful little lady we call Sirius, or we call her Siri. She has nothing to do with your GPS on her phone. She's about 3 years old, and she's a very, very kissy little girl. Very, very pretty. Like I say, she's about 3. She is about, yeah, she's about 58% gray wolf. Risk is husky shepherd, mix like that. She's a very pretty little girl. She has beautiful eyeliner, doesn't she? Those beautiful eyes.
Reminds you of Angel.
She's very, very nice little girl.
Around the neck, babe.
It's great.
Like I told
She's
you
from
with our
Indiana originally. And she's so kissy. She's very, very affectionate. She's a little bit of a diva.
From the past experience.
She is a total diva. She loves posing. We'll see you get her up to pose later. How you doing? She's kind of bopping away along there. And she's kind of the result of a whole bunch of female wolf dogs, and they thought they'd introduce a male who was a little bit too young to maybe start thinking breeding, who kind of got wind of things and got a little precocious, and well, one thing led to another, and we have a whole batch of pups they didn't think they know we had, so they kind of pieced them out, and here, pretty little Sirius. She's a pretty little girl, and she's got beautiful eyes, but she's got some wolf characteristics, mostly dark nails. has those beautifully outlined ears and eyes. I kind of tend to think that's because they're very. If you're ever doing, she likes being touched sometimes, sometimes not so much. But if you're doing something she doesn't like, she'll give you a little, you know. Siri. There we go. Hey, Siri. Hi. Can we get her? No, maybe not.
No.
Like I said, she's a little bit of a diva.
That's
They
like
call those
Sheldon.
ruffs, by the way. That little, what those nice hair around their face, frames their face, gives them that nice little, that very nice silhouette. Hey, girl, how you doing? She's very, very pretty. Anybody have any questions at all, or because that helps me out, you know, see what you're interested in, that kind of thing. No.
Nope.
So a lot of difference.
Go pull on her coat a little bit.
A lot of difference in the like she. I mean, I know you said she's 58%, so she's like very light. But is there kind of just like a range of the colors of the fur, or?
There's a range like wolves in the wild. Even they go from pure black to pure white.
Okay.
Everything in between. You're not, the only thing you're not going to see in the wild is real like patterns, like, you know, what you might see a black wolf with a little bit of a white chest or something like that, but usually you're not going to see like that mottled coat, something like that. They tend to be pure one way or another, or like hers, what we call a goody. Kind of weird word, but it means kind of tan, brown, little black, little gray. It's kind of a nice camouflage, actually. If she was sitting in the weeds or something like that, it's kind of a nice all-around camouflage. She tends to kind of blend in with the ground and grass and things like that.
Same thing Andrew does underneath the tree.
Yes.
I know.
Usually he's a very good friend around.
I'm telling my friends.
Maybe a little bit
And
more.
he like he monitors it.
How much does she weigh?
We turn around
She's about what?
and fill his dish and leave it there.
75, 80,
And if we ever see it empty, we just
something
throw
like
it
that.
in.
About the size of Angel.
She's like you saying I'm fat.
Yeah.
Ryan is about
She smells it.
120 pounds.
She's gonna get
and
it
I
too.
wish he was here.
Yeah.
Sometimes he gets a little
Yeah,
silly
like
and a little bit not aggressive,
high
but
up
very,
metabolism.
very playful.
But the
Like
eyes,
when Aiche there, imagine
Yep,
120
told ya.
pounds of him.
other than
She's
that,
like, I have to go
He's
all the way up
quiet
here.
and, you know, folks tend to kind of freak a little bit. He's just being affectionate more than anything. But sometimes he gets a little silly and
Oh, now she's
you
ready
got to kind
for
of put him for a
pictures.
timeout. But these two go together and they tend to be a lot friendlier and very, very bouncy when they're together. I wish you could show him though, because he's everything that you think about wolves. He just has a profile of just.
yeah, we just knew, you know,
He's
with him not being
92%
fixed, we knew
real,
before we came
and he
here.
is just a really great
Wow,
creature.
they turned around and they walked our dogs first, and then everybody made sure
Freaked out when
like
he did, you know, he
they
did
were
jump up on
changed
you or,
and everything,
you
so
know,
that we didn't
or
have any
something
of
like
this
that.
fresh
And,
scent
you know,
because
it's quite
he's the type that
experience.
looks at there and he'll rub up
What we're
against
going to do, seeing as we got her up there, why don't we try to get some pictures of her very quickly, seeing if she's up there. Yeah, so kind of go up, I'll give her a treat and kind of get a little rotation going. I'd love to have her up there. Maybe gave her a little rub under the chin, under the chest, it's not, just to let you know.
Where's that raven?
That's Raven right there. Samson is hanging out under the platform here. Look it out, we're fine.
Going away.
We're going to be going in this area right here, but just
You guys could go close to the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Have a pretty little girl named Winona over there, but it's hard to see her, but that's his name.
Who is this one? Dakota.
Like a darn 14. That's the thing. And it was a case or two where, you know, we had him running like that with authorities, and we just kind of hanging out here for a while. Pretty little girl back there who kind of looks like Shante. It's hard to see her far back. Back beyond this point. But she's known as the Brooklyn Wolf. Somebody in New York City had a big old wolf dog, very pretty little creature, and totally illegally. And she either got out or was let go or whatever. She's running the streets of New York City, and the authorities picked her up. And people are calling the cops and the ASPCA. Oh my God, there's a wolf running around. This and this. It's gonna be grandma and the kids and all this. They picked her up, and they were hip to us. They gave us a call, said, "I think we got a wolf dog here." We came out and reported her back here, and she's a very nice little creature, but she gets so affectionate sometimes, kind of freaks people out. She gets all worked up and very, very kissy and might get a nippy ear. Just come over, maybe. That is, it's either acid or pure white. That's acid. I'm not sure who this is.
You can see the fence.
You're doing pretty good on fine maintenance, sweetie. Hey, girl. How you doing? Pretty little Winona. Pretty little creature, isn't she? I can see why somebody would want someone like her, but, you know. Yeah. So what we'll do, we got her there. Is Dakota around? Oh, there's Dakota. There's Dakota, and he's the oldest member of the entire facility right here. And he and Samson are the last remaining members of what we call the Disney Pack. They were in the movie The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Nicolas Cage, who ironically doesn't like dogs, who wrote the movie, and Jay Baruchel. He was one of the last members of the whole pack. And he's Coders, how you doing, old boy? He's a wonderful guy. If he stood up, he would be one of the biggest guys here.
How old is he?
He was 14. Well over 14 years old. Yeah. Yeah. And his name, which means friend to all. He just gets along with everybody. Very, very friendly. Coders, hey boy. Got great big ears, which is kind of unwolf-like. We figure he's about 63% gray wolf. The rest is mostly shepherd. Big old pretty guy. What's up for you? Maybe. I don't know. He's got very big paws, huge paws, very, very bulky paws.
Looks like magnet.
You guys,
Go ahead.
come on, just
I'll
get
get
a door open.
fix that. Come on.
Here we go. Raven. He's right there. Oh, I love his white paw. That's adorable.
You guys can move in.
Oh, there's Samson.
This white raven right here is named Kotori.
Hi, Raven.
His name in the native tongue means screech owl spirit. Hopefully in a little bit we'll find out why. He's a little bit of a rock star, a little bit of an opera singer. We like to get a little howl going. And
You look
he
like
just
our
loves
angel.
attention. He'll go wherever he is, usually up in a little high place. He'll just rear his head back.
It's like
hopefully
Angel's
give us a really nice
boyfriend.
howl and maybe start the whole pack going. It's really, really something. And that beautiful Kotori is about 9 years old. He's got as mid content as you can get. He's about 51% gray wolf. The rest is shepherd mostly. Got a little something called Norwegian elk hound in him too. And he's another good story of why here and what we do is he was a boy from New Jersey. He was owned by a police officer, and he had a little husky with him. Now my all dogs, by the way, will test 1 or 2% wolf content. This is a similar ancestry. A little bit over half wolf, and he's very, very submissive by nature. He just is, and had a little husky who used to be deviled the living heck and dominated the living heck out of the half wolf here, who you think would just take over and be all alpha. We'll get into that later. Wasn't having it. He'd have him in a corner of something terrible, and the policeman knew of us and knew Mike, the facilitator of the facility, and just said, it's easier for you guys to take care of the wolf dog than me. So we got him, and he's been a pretty little ambassador ever since. And he and Samson, who is just my favorite, he's just so great. They were in Vogue magazine a couple months ago. We do photo shoots and TV work and all kinds of stuff all the time. He's a very, very pretty little guy. And Samson, who is just absolutely wonderful. Hey, Sammy. He's about 13. I wish you could see him. You can see his paws though. Look how big his paws are. They're amazing. He's the biggest he is. He's 115 pounds. Great big creature. He's an older guy. He's about 13. And he has a very, very heavy coat. That's why this one pretty little guy named Bandit used to be here. It was mostly husky. Very, very heavy coat. He doesn't really coat a whole lot. In hot weather, he just stays very, very warm. And this local Boy Scout who built this house for us with air conditioning. Kind of keeps them, because the other ones can kind of get along. They'll dig a little trench where it's a little bit cooler and they'll hunker down. But these guys really suffer with the heat, so they built them a nice little cool house here. He's an older guy. He's just kind of hanging out. He's a low content wolf dog. He's about 24% wolf, about 61% Malamute. Sammy, oh, I'm so happy. Sammy, look at him. Just look at him.
That's huge.
Sam's right there. He's from Pennsylvania originally.
Wow.
like I said, he's about 115 pounds. He's the second biggest one here. And he is just wonderful. He's very, very friendly. He goes off. He and the Kotori, the white one, they go to off-site events with us all the time. And just little kids just love playing around with them. Very, very nice temper. Just look at the size of his jaws. Are they something? He could dig like you don't know what. He could dig holes. That's what he does. We just filled this in here, but he could dig a hole you could bury your grandpa's Buick in like a nothing when you think anything of it.
Coming in the morning.
And he's mostly 61% Malamute. Malamutes are the great big, those big draft horses, sled dog. They're meant to be, and Malamutes are kind of interesting because they were meant, like Huskies are meant to pull sleds. You get a whole dozen of them and they're going really fast, long distances. They're like sprinters in Olympics. Malamutes were meant to pull great big heavy loads, machinery, great big tons of food on big heavy sleds. And Malamutes were also bred to be guard against wolves.
And
You have different kind of farm animals up there in the Antarctic too, different types, maybe goats or whatnot. See what you're looking at right there? Some pack behavior. He's being all submissive. That's what little pups do to get food from mom and dad. Clunk. Oh, I love you. I could just go over and ride him. He wouldn't even know I'm there, I don't think. Look at this. Oh, good boy. He's a good boy. Yes, you are. He's a great big. You just feel how strong. You just feel. Oh, what's going on there?
He's like, where's the food at? I know it's in your pocket.
You just saddle him up and ride him. He's just so great.
Wow.
You go right up and get a nice pet in on him. He's just so strong and just so wonderful, isn't he?
Feel the fur now. This is. Oh my God. Wow.
The gentleman who's just through here is Mike. He's a facilitator of the place. He has got one of those most prized objects ever. He's got a stocking hat made of his fur. There was a lady who used to work here who actually, we got tons and tons of fur.
Hello,
That doesn't get wasted. Each animal has a bag of their fur over the years. Used to be a very nice lady who used to carve it out and spin it and make really good quality items. That's
Yeah, he's got the scent like Magnum.
Yeah, he's got the really
I think that's why the other one's peed.
It's really good quality stuff.
Wow, that's.
It's like you
Oh,
smell
I know,
like
it's
Samson.
amazing. His hat is like so sought after.
I was so scared.
Never give that up. You see how big his claws are?
You look just like our angel.
Now this beautiful,
That one.
yeah, Orion. And he's very, very fluffy. If you were to wet him down, he's a lot skinnier. But this little guy here is Raven, and he's the newest member. He's actually the youngest member of the whole place. He's about 10 months old. We figure he's about 40% wolf. The rest is split up with Husky Shepherd Malamute. And he's from Long Island. And he's a case where he was found, somebody found him running around, took him in. That's kind of the story. It's kind of evolving. Nice folks out in Long Island are totally illegal to have wolf dogs. They found him running around, they took him in. He's a nice dog and this. But he's kind of exhibiting some kind of wolfy behavior. He's kind of pacing around like he does. He's still getting used to people. He likes folks, but he's new. He's just kind of finding his way in the little pack here. And they just kind of sent his DNA test off, and it comes back 40% wolf. Oh my gosh, he's nice, but it's illegal, so they surrendered him to us, and he just kind of is becoming one of our ambassadors. He's just a really, really nice little guy. He really, really is. And I mentioned the whole alpha and omega thing. By the way, the movie, the alpha, you see it. It's really, really great. The whole alpha and omega thing, you always think, the alpha of the pack is the biggest, the baddest, the strongest. Now, usually it's the breeding pair, the alpha. They kind of went back to this old scientist many, many years ago. They used the Greek letter alpha, meaning just the first. Everything in science is Greek and Latin, They were the first pair, and usually they're mom and dad to the rest of the pack.
That's nothing new.
Wolf pack is usually a family unit. Maybe not masses and masses of gray fur running through the woods. It's like maybe 6, 8, 9 animals. It's kind of the immediate family. That's generally how it is.
Huge.
After about their first year and a half, 2 years, when they reach their sexual maturity at around a year and a half, the only chance they're going to get to breed is generally not in their own family, like folks. They're going to kind of split off. So they might decide to go off on their own, form a pack somewhere else, maybe on the outskirts of their
That
pack.
one looks literally just like
have
you.
a town next door, maybe
Little
one or two
thinner,
members
too.
just kind of sit in the basement and kind of eat the hot pockets. Play around.
Yeah, I
Go
can.
off in the army, get down, go move far away from the family. It's kind of like that. Maybe half the wolves in a what they call a native pack are born in black.
You know, baby.
They move on, they die, they might switch between packs. Maybe one guy isn't sick.
Raven, you're okay. Raven, come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. There's too many people. Come here, Raven.
That's the motivation for a lot of moving back and forth. It's pretty old till Tori. I'm glad Samson got up. We just got to be. It's just so great.
He's a little more timid than the rest of them. I cannot get over these paws. It's unbelievable.
Oh, I know.
Raven's like, goodbye.
I know. Good boy.
Yeah.
Cheese today.
Boy, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad he got up. He was tired this morning, but you feel his ears how nice and soft they are. Isn't that something? And that fur can protect them in murderous cold temperatures up to 70 below. It's been recorded. Can you imagine that? You couldn't even get temperatures like that in New Jersey. I've been in 50 below, and walking from here to out, your ears.
He's new, so he's a little bit more
They're really
skittish.
built against cold. Good boy.
Like,
So what we're going to do is try to get a nice howl going.
Okay.
So what you might want to do, we'll try to get him up. Maybe go up on the platform. If not, we'll do it from pretty much everywhere. What we'll do is, folks, try to get, we're going to give us a nice 3 count here, and what we're going to try to do is give it our best Howling Woods howl. I'm kind of aiming at that pretty white one right there, little howl. And if we're lucky, he'll just, what you do is get your video on him, and we'll do a nice howl for a couple of seconds to try to get him going. And he'll hopefully rear his head back and give us a really nice howl and maybe get the whole place going, okay? So, put him right there. He's just kind of preoccupied. A couple minutes. Maybe not. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Sound that fascinated people from the very beginning of things. So great. No, it doesn't. People ask me howl at the moon. I'm sure you've seen it. You might, if you're alive, you've seen that image. Scientists will tell you that there's no real correlation. It's just kind of, the myth started many, many years ago before artificial light. You have woodsmen and hunters and whatnot. Usually they like to go up to a high point just to kind of check things out, see what's going on. And they're howling for communication for many different reasons. They could be assembling a pack for a hunt. Maybe they're just seeing if everybody's accounted for, nobody got hurt or killed that day, they're kind of assembling things.
oh!
Oh, is that it? You got us some Squeaky, yay! I gave him that today, you love Squeaky twice.
He's like, hey everybody, look at my new toy!
But that's really, they don't really, they're not so much howling at the moon, they're just, as you can see, they like to look up. They're on a high vantage point, the moon's behind them. Oh, they must be looking at that. Scientists, look at that. That's $7 I ever spent, I swear. So I see we reached the end of our tour, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. What we're going to do is head out to the main pen right here where we came in. Come on,
Come say hi.
Come on. Boy.
Pump your skirt. Come here.
No. Hi, sweetie.
Isn't that fun, huh?
Don't play with
Say bye
Bye, sweetie.
So thank you folks for coming by today. You guys are all volunteers here. We all just love these animals so much. We chose them far away. I come from the JFK to city just to be there.
We're gonna come in and get a little closer, everyone.
And all
Here we go.
give us for All the donations for admission fees and anything we buy in store goes right back on these animals. Vet bills, all that chicken was telling about, things like that. We look them up. We love these guys so much. With that, we will go right through here.
The only difference is the eye.
Feel sorry.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Okay.